Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be the second part of function alias. So if you haven't watched the first video, please feel free to watch that. So basically in this video we're gonna cover the second use case of function alias, that is when we are going to create a function alias in a class which is other than that of embed user function class, right, which we have already covered in the first video. So what happens that when we create a function alias, just to give you some context, right, so when we create a function alias in a class other than embed user function class, so it becomes an alias for a function. What is a function? A function is a rule utility function class, right? So if there is any function, you can create a alias for that function alias when you create a function alias in a class other than embed user function class, right? I hope I make sense. So let's jump into the video. So what I'm gonna do is, like, if you see my screen, I have already we have a function called isInteger, right? This is a sorry, not this one, just a second. Yeah, so if you see, we already have a function, right, isInteger, right? So this is a function, right, function rule. So what we want to do now, like, we want to create a function alias for this demo purpose of this function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create, same way technical, I'm going to click on function alias, right? It asks for the label, so I'm going to give the same, maybe is integer. Perfect. Now for my use purpose, I'm creating it in data portal. You can create in whichever class you want to, right? So for the demo purpose, I'm creating in data report class, and I'm going to click on create and open. Perfect. Now if you see over here, it asks for the function name which you want to create the alias of. So since we want to create the alias of this function is integer, so I'm going to write the name is integer, and you'll see the smart prompt has already given us the prompt, right? So I'm going to select this is integer, and see, it will take the reference, right? If I open this, it will again open with the same function, right? So again, this gives all the information about the function, and I'm just going to go click on save, and we are done. The alias is already created. Now coming to this, how do we use this alias, right, and where do we use it? So if you would be knowing, this function alias we can use in several places, such as decision tree, when rule, and all. So for our demo purpose, we're gonna use it in some when rule. So this is my page. So I'll just give you a quick scenario. So what we want to do is, like, we want to give an input field over here, which on the in which we will enter some data. If the data is an integer, then we're gonna show some text below it, right? Seems simple, right? So let me open the section whichever we are using over here. Right, let me check what are the pages over here. So this was my page. I will open this section so this is an empty section, right? So I'm going to take a text input field. Quickly we'll give some property. I have a property called text1. I'm going to use that. I will make it as text input only, presentation editable, and under actions we're going to click on change, refresh. Perfect, right? Now we want to show some field below. We want to show a text, right? So I'm gonna go and put a label. In the label, I'm gonna create a new field value called result, maybe, and I'm gonna open that, create that. In this I have already created the field value. This is like I have written a message, yay, function alias worked. So this I'm gonna use, and under presentation, let me change the label format to heading 1 so that it is more clearly visible, and submit. We are good, right? So now if you will see, I'll just quickly reopen the page. We are getting the message anyway, right? So we want to put a when rule, that when we enter a text, we should get the message that when only then when the input text is an integer, right? So what we're gonna do is, now we gonna go and create a when rule. So go to decision and when rule. Perfect. I will just name it as when, right, when integer maybe. Perfect. Now give the class to data portal, and done. Now let's create it. Now if you go, we will go to advanced tab. Now how do we use the function alias over here? So if you see below, we have a function, we have an option called add function, right? So I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna write my function alias name which is integer, and I'm gonna click. Now if I click on this icon, you see it is getting open to a function alias which we have already created, right? So again we're gonna go back to when rule, and I'm gonna delete this, and see, if you will see, when I deleted it, it is now by default putting the function alias which we have created, which is integer, right? So now in the input field, I'm gonna put the field which we are using in the UI, which is text1, right? Because this is the property which we are using in this section. So I'm going to put text1, and that's all. We are done. and my when rule is created, right? Just a second, save. Perfect, right? Now we're gonna plug in this when rule over here in the field value, in the label basically. So in the visibility I'm gonna do when, and the name was when integer, and it's done. Submit, save, right? Perfect. Now if you go to the UI, back to the UI, I'm gonna click on my page again, refresh. Now if you see, if I write Anuj, it doesn't put up anything, right? Now if I'll remove it and I'll write say 50, which is an integer, right? So we get function alias works. So this is how we create a function alias. One more thing I would like to say, that this function alias for this scenario I have created for an existing function. We can of course create a function alias for our own function, like if you want to create, if you have written some custom function of yours and you want to create an alias of it, you can create it. So that maybe we'll be covering in some other videos, like how to create our own function. So till this time, that's all.